All right, so now we're going to finish Matthew chapter 16, starting in verse 27. For the Son of Man will come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he will render to everyone according to his deeds. Whoa, what a statement. The glory of his Father. So we're talking about, Jesus, when he came into the world this time, he put himself in the body of a human starting as a baby. And man, we are going to see the God who spoke the universe into existence. And now we know that is so much bigger through science, that there are hundreds of billions of galaxies with hundreds of billions of stars. And it's just amazing how big this universe is. And that infinitely powerful, infinitely intelligent, infinitely loving God is going to come back with his angels. And he's going to render to us everything that we deserve according to our deeds. So I said this in my commentary: be careful about trying to avoid pain or keeping others from it, because suffering from God comes before glory. Now here's what Romans 8:17 says. Well, let me back up to 16. The Spirit himself testifies together with our spirit that we are God's children, and if children, also heirs, heirs of God, and co-heirs with Christ, seeing that we will suffer with him so that we also may be glorified with him. So if the whole world agreed and the whole world was right and honest and logical and wise and believed in Jesus, then there would be no reward, no special reward when Jesus came back, because we would have all believed the same thing. But think about the pressure that we have, the peer pressure that you and I experience from the world that doesn't believe in Jesus. That's going to produce for us a reward, because we are the minority. We have to hold on to the truth while the world attacks it. The world is very much, depending on where you are, here in America, it's less popular to offend people with the truth. And man, if you could just speak the truth in love, and you're going to offend people, and you endure through that, and you try to help the world, man, you're going to get a great reward in heaven, or when Jesus comes back. And of course, he's going to rule this world before there's a new heaven and a new earth. And man, you're going to get rewarded. So just keep your eye on that we are going to suffer for taking Jesus' side on things, but Jesus is going to come back and he's going to reward us who took his side, who believed him and trusted him instead of caving and bending to the peer pressure of mankind. And then it says this in verse 28, most certainly I tell you, there are some standing here who will in no way taste death until they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. So I'm not sure if this is talking about the transfiguration that's going to happen in the next chapter. That's where Jesus, Peter, James, and John get to see Jesus shining in his glory with, I think it's Moses and Elijah. Or it's talking about the book of Revelation that was given to John later on the island of Patmos. But either way, Jesus is preparing his disciples for perseverance by giving them glimpses of the future. Isn't that beautiful? So man, you read the book of Revelation, because it's probably impacted me more than any other book as far as knowing what's going to happen, because it makes it more clear than any other book what's going to happen. And so read the last few chapters of Revelation, and you'll see that Jesus is going to come back. He's going to make all things new and live for eternity. Live for the peer pressure in eternity. Think about that. After Jesus comes back, everyone will wish that they lived for Jesus. And so live for that peer pressure instead of this very temporary peer pressure from people who don't know what's going on. They're blind. They don't see the truth. They're in darkness. And don't live for people who don't know what's going on. Live for the peer pressure of people who will know what's going on. And live for the Trinity peer pressure. Let the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit pressure you in being honest and right and true and living for eternity and not living for the temporary.